with the Purpose friends. This painting that I'm going to do today is for all my teacher friends out there. You can put it in your room and remind kids to be kind. So to get started, what you're going to need is some yellow paint, white. I've got some white and gray mixed because I'm going to make it really, really, really light gray. I've got a darker, just regular gray, light green, dark green. This is going to be your skin tone. So this is a little bit of tan, white, and pink, and then black. The paintbrushes you will need are your big 2-inch brush, your small flat brush, and a medium round brush. You also, when we do the lettering, you might want to get a pencil and kind of sketch out the words before we go and write them. All right, let's get started. So we're going to actually paint our canvas white, and I do want you to go from top to bottom. Now that you have your canvas white, you're going to take that gray and white that you had together, and you're just going to make strips the size of your paintbrush. All right, now set your big paintbrush aside, your 2-inch brush. You can go in your water bucket, and you're going to get your flat brush, your small flat brush, and you're just going to dip it into the regular gray. We're going to make fence lines. So one line is going to be here, and this can be an old fence and it doesn't have to be straight. All right, there is our fence, and we're gonna let this dry. Okay, now that our fence is dry, you're gonna take your round brush, and we're gonna do grass at the bottom. And my fence is still a little wet, but it'll be okay. So start with your dark green, and you're just gonna start at the base of your canvas and pull up. Now we're going to go back, no need to wipe your brush, and we're going to do the light green. You're just going to add a little bit of light green here and there. All right, go ahead and rinse your brush and wipe it on your cloth and set it aside. We're going to give our grass a few minutes to dry before we get started on our gnome. So our grass is dry. We're gonna take our yellow, and what I've done is I have just, and you can kind of see the color difference, I've just taken a little bit of yellow and mixed in just a tad of the tan. I want I guess it's like his dress, or I don't know. I want it to be a little bit darker. So his dress, you're going to come up almost halfway, but not quite, and it's just going to kind of come down over at the bottom, and then you're just going to fill all that in. And yellow doesn't cover well normally, so we will have to do several coats. Okay, so that is his little robe thing. And we're going to take that same darker color and we're going to do his hat. So you want to leave a little bit of a space here. He's going to have a beard and a nose, and his hat just curves up. Like so. It's like a frowny face. Parentheses on the side. And then it just kind of comes up. And then just fill that in. It dries pretty quick, so you can do a second coat on the bottom. All right, let's let that dry. You're gonna wanna do 2 to 3 coats on your yellows. So once you have your 2 to 3 coats on your yellows, his hat and his outfit, then you're ready to go on to the next step. Before we do the beard, which is going to be next. So make sure your yellows are good and dry, and then we're going to do the beard. With your flat brush and your plain white paint, we're going to do his beard. His beard comes up from underneath his hat, and it's going to split in 3 ways. So the first one kind of curls down this way. Second one comes down this way, and then the one in the middle. So these are going to split. His nose is going to sit right there. And then the one in the middle comes straight down. Then you're just going to fill that in. With your small round brush and your gray paint, you're going to come in here and you're just going to add some little wisps. Maybe kind of outline it. If it's too gray, you can always go back over it with white. And then see, it just kind of fades that gray out. And then with a little bit of black on your round brush, you don't need to rinse the gray off, just get some black. And I like my black a little watered down. We're gonna add a cuff line to this hat. Just like so. I'm gonna grab a smaller round brush and then I'm gonna finish outlining. I have a smaller round brush. I'm gonna go back into my black. Just so like I have a little more control. The cuff line. Now he gets these bumblebee antennas. So with that same round brush and your black paint, they just kind of come out of his hat. And then at the end of each one of these, they're gonna get a round ball. And the best way to do a perfectly round ball is with your flat brush, your medium flat brush. Make sure it's nice and clean, there's no color on it. And you're just gonna dip that edge in your black. And then you're just gonna start and keep the inside edge stationary and spin the outside edge. So inside edge stays stationary and you spin the outside edge. You may have to get a little more paint on there than what I did. And then you can clean it up with your smaller brush here in just a minute. So same way, inside edge stays stationary, you spin the outside edge. And that gives you a pretty decent circle. Alright, so there are his little buggy antennas. Now we need to do his stripes on his little dress and his shoes. So with that, go back to your small round brush. It's just easier control. And you're going to do a line that goes from here to here. All right, his shoes. Are black. And they just sit right. Like little half circles. And then rinse that brush really, really good. And we're gonna do his nose and his hands. They kind of stick out by his beard. That's gonna give you your skin tone. His nose sits right here. That in. He's got these little hands that just kind of, like they're kind of behind his back. Maybe not really. All right, now for his bumblebee wings. So rinse that round brush again, wipe it on your cloth, and we're gonna do the yellow. And we're gonna lighten our yellow just a little bit. So take a little bit of white, and we just wanna lighten that yellow just a tad. So not a lot, just a couple shades lighter than what his outfit is. And then, so his wings, one of them, gonna fill those in. Okay, a couple more things, and I'm gonna use a paint pen for this next part. You do not have to use a paint pen. You can use your very small round brush. I do like a paint pen. It's like I'm cheating, but I'm just gonna outline everything. Okay, for the lettering, you can go ahead and write it in pencil if you want to. You can use your paint pen, you can use your paintbrush. It's whatever you want to do. I don't know if you can see, I've kind of already written it in pencil real lightly. It's easy to erase if you do it in pencil. And then, like I said, you can use your paint pen, your paintbrush. It depends on how wide you want it, how much control you want to have, that type of thing. I'm going to use my paintbrush. Hopefully it turns out. So I'm just using my small round paintbrush. I probably would use my paint pen if my paint pen had any paint left in it. Right, we're going to add a little highlights with just a little bit of white to his little antennas, those wings. If it's too white, go over it with the yellow or the black. And there you go. This is for all my teacher friends. Happy painting. Can't wait to see what you create.